And good morning once again. For today, sana we will have the statement of cash flow as part of our discussion. So, you may turn to page 198. Hindi ko alam kung parehas tayo ng libro or parehas tayo ng page. Pero before we proceed to page 198, for the limited time, ito sana yung assignment ninyo. No? Nakalimutan kong isend. So, paano yan? May assignment kayo. Okay, so ang gagawin na lang natin for today is, I think we can finish it for 30 minutes, depende kung gaano kabilis ako mag-type. Okay, pakisundan na lang ako for another example. Yung assignment ninyo, papalitan ko na lang yan. Okay, I think the assignment will be based on the book na lang para hindi sayang yung libro ninyo. Okay, so for your indulgence, no, kunin na natin tong. Okay na, ready na. Ito na lang yung gawin muna natin for today. So, we will try to finish this one within 30 minutes. Sana. Okay? So, we have here an adjusted trial balance of Moy Cruz as of December 31, 2019. Ito yon, an adjusted trial balance. Kaya lang yung adjusted trial balance has been lifted to the worksheet or financial worksheet. Nandito na siya. So, hindi na siya yung imamano-mano nyo pa. Okay? As well as the additional information. So, pinaprepare sa atin worksheet, adjusting entries, the statement of profit or loss, statement of equity and financial position, closing entries, and the post-closing trial balance. Okay, so trabahuin na natin. First things first, no? Whenever you have an adjusted trial balance transferred to the financial worksheet, make sure that the debit balance is equal to the credit balance. Bakit? Pag mali yung start mo, mali na lahat. Okay? And most of the time, if we're going to check kung saan tayo nagkamali as a student, you will find out that the mistakes came from the transfer, no, from an adjusted trial balance na pinakita sa inyo to the financial worksheet. So, yun ang unang-una yung gagawin. Make sure that the balances here are equal. Okay po? Then, proceed to the adjusting entries. I do remember na yung pinagawa ko sa inyo last time or ginawa ko, I always start with the adjusting journal entry. Okay, although we have here, sabi niya gawin mo dito. Yes, pero mas maganda dito kasi ta-transfer ko na lang. Okay? So these are the additional information. Office supplies on hand December 31, 2019 is 21,000. All you need to do is to check how much is an adjusted trial balance. Yung office supplies. Okay, the office supplies stands at 63,000. So 21,000 na lang daw siya. So ang gagawin? Bawasan. So debit to office supplies expense, credit to office supplies, that's 63,000 minus 21,000. Okay? So we have 42,000 pesos. Expense. Yun na yung nagamit. Letter B, 1/3 of the unearned revenues has been earned at December 31, 2019. Okay, tingnan lang natin yung revenue. How much is the revenue? Revenue unearned is 450,000. Okay, 450. Earn na daw yun. So what is 1/3 of 450? That's 150,000. So that's 450 times 1/3 or divided by 3. So debit to unearned consulting revenue, bawasan. Credit to consulting revenue, recognize the revenue na earn. Okay, next. For the depreciation, okay, for the year amounted to, ito, binigay na, 38,123. But on a higher accounting, no, hindi parating doon yan yung case. Gagawin mo, magko-compute ka. But for now, sinabi na niya. So 38,000 daw for the building. So debit to depreciation expense, building, 38,000. Sir, bakit ganyan? Dati depreciation expense lang. Well, just to fit yung ating preparation ng worksheet, kailangan lagyan mo ng dash building, dash equipment yung depreciation expense natin. So remember, di ba? We have to transfer yung mga adjustments doon sa financial worksheet. So it would be best if makikita natin lahat ng mga tin-transfer. What I mean is, kung isa lang yung depreciation expense na makita mo doon and then the amount is amount na equal to 38,000 plus 123,000, hindi mo na alam kung saan napunta. Correct? So, paghiwalay na lang natin. So we have 123,000 for the equipment. So all we need to do is just record. Okay. Next, salaries and the amount of 14,000 have been accrued at year end. So ang gagawin mo lang, debit to salaries expense or credit to accrued salaries payable, or simply debit to salaries expense, credit to salaries payable. 14,000. What's next? Interest receivable. Check na natin. In this case, hindi siya payable. Ito yung mag-ingat kayo, sabi namin, di ba? So the notes receivable in this case were accepted from several customers. So the notes were issued on September 1, 2019, will be settled together with a 20% interest on May 31, 2020. Okay, so all we need to do is compute. Magkano ba yun? So wala dyan yung notes, nandito siya. Hanapin mo yung balance ng notes receivable. Okay, so the notes receivable amounted to 360,000. So 360,000. So entry is debit to interest receivable, credit to interest revenue. Bakit? Notes receivable kasi ito. So September 1 daw. So paano ba yung formula natin? We have 360,000 times rate of 20% times September, October, November, December. 4/12. Okay, so we have an interest of 24,000. Again, that's 360,000 times 20% times September, October, November, December, 4/12. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, anong gagawin lang natin? Transfer natin yung mga figures, amounts sa worksheet natin. So the first one is debit to office supplies expense, credit to office supplies. Okay, so 42,000. So debit to office supplies expense, 42. Pwedeng i-type mo na lang kung ayaw mag-reference. Pwede naman. Hindi naman sinabing gano'n ang gagawin lagi. So debit to unearned unearned consulting revenue, 150,000. Credit to consulting revenue. Where are you? 150. Okay, for the depreciation expense, we have debit to depreciation expense of building, 38,000. Credit to accumulated depreciation building, 38,000. Then another, we have debit to depreciation expense of 123,000 for the equipment. Credit to accumulated depreciation for the equipment, 123,000. Okay. Next, we have salaries expense of 14,000. Sensya na, medyo kabisado ko lang yung amount. Okay, debit. Then credit to accrued salaries payable or simply salaries payable. So in this case, that's 14,000. Pwedeng hindi ka mag-reference kasi mapatagal yung referencing. Then next or last is the interest receivable, 24,000 yun. So debit to interest receivable, 24,000. Credit to interest income or interest revenue. Ano bang pagkakaiba? Interest revenue if yun talaga yung nature ng business mo, nagpapautang pa. So you will have to have an interest revenue na account. Pero kung hindi naman, interest income will suffice. Okay, anong next na gagawin? Make sure that the balances are equal for the adjustments. So check natin. Ang ginawa ko na lang, highlight na lang yung amounts. So kinapi natin yung summation niya. 391,000. So pag balance yan, wala kang masyadong problema. Okay, next. Applying the rules. Naalala niyo yung shortcut na natin last time? That's debit, debit, add, credit, credit, add. Other way around, just deduct and put the amount on the larger side, okay, of the balance. Ganun lang. Okay, so we have here 45,000. Wala siyang adjustments. Just copy. This one, 360. Just copy. We have 156. Just copy. Next, we have zero balance plus a debit of 24,000. So that's 24,000. Next is office supplies of 63,000. Debit and a credit of 42,000. So debit, credit, deduct, right? Okay, so that's 63 minus 42. 21,000. Ang gagawin mo na lang, alin yung side na mas malaki, doon mo siya ilagay. So in this case, that's debit. We have 21,000. Next, land 300,000 debit. Just copy. Next po, we have building of 1,590,000. Remember, buildings, equipments, hindi yan nababawasan. Saan ba yung bawas nila? Sa accumulated depreciation. Okay? So we have here credit for the accumulated depreciation for the building, 254 tapos 38 credit, pag-adin lang natin. So that's 254 plus 38,000. Credit. Diba? Debit, add credit, add. Then equipment, 2,150,000. Then we have accumulated depreciation, just add. We have 612,000 plus 123. Okay. Next, accounts payable, just copy. Walang nangyari. We have a new account of credit, 14,000. Next, consulting revenue, we have unearned consulting revenue. We have credit of 450 and then a debit of 150. So deduct yan. So mas malaki yung credit side. So the balance is 300,000 credit. Next, cruise capital 2,655,000. Just copy. Next, withdrawal 600,000. Just copy. Wala namang adjustments. Next, consulting revenue, credit, just add. So 2,108,000 plus 150. Okay. Then interest income, bago, 24,000, just add. Then we have salaries expense, debit. So we have add 875,000 plus 14,000. Okay. Repairs, just copy. We have miscellaneous expenses of 37. Then these are the new expenses, copy na lang. Okay, then after that, anong next? Make sure that the adjusted trial balance is balanced. So in this case, balance ba? Yes po. Another important thing sa mga absent na nakaraan, paalala lang po that your financial worksheet is arranged as tawag dito. Ayan, statement of financial position or balance sheet accounts under assets, liability, equity, yung presentation. And then we have the income statement or statement of financial performance, rather, income and expenses, yung pagkakapresent. Okay? So dapat alam mo kung ano yung dulo. Okay, importante po ba to? Yes, kasi dyan tayo mag-start ng difference pagdating dito sa preparation. Okay? All you need to do is to extend the amount. So mag-extend tayo for the income statement o the income statement accounts. That's consulting revenue. All you need to do is just copy. So we have 2,258,000. In this case, may kasama siyang interest income. And then the rest are expenses. Just copy. Okay, after nun, yan. Huwag mong asahan na magbabalance yan kasi we will have the balancing figure sa baba. Okay? So dito yung hindi balance kasi hanapin natin yung balancing figure there. And then the rest, just copy for the balance sheet, starting off with cash. Ayan. Be very, very careful nga lang. Yeah. After which, kunin mo lang yung balances. Okay. So dito sa baba, ano yung ginagawa for the income statement? Again, sabi ko, tingnan mo kung ano yung mas malaking side. So we have a credit side, just copy. 2,282 para balanse. Then in this side, we have 5,426. Just copy. Okay, the difference, squeeze. In this case, we have 2,282 minus 1,245,000. We have 1,037. And on this side, we have 5,246,000 minus 4,209,000. We have 1,037. If those amounts are the same equal, anong tawag natin dyan? That is the profit for the period. So you may have to present it on. Sa akin, green kasi profit yung pinag-uusapan. Okay? Then, yun. Tapos na yung worksheet ninyo. So that is about 10 minutes of your time for the preparation of the worksheet. Next, continue tayo. Now we prepare the financial statements or the basic. So we have here consulting revenue, interest income. All you need to do is copy. So we have 2,258,000. Nakikita niyo pa ba? Okay, so that's 2,258,000. Oops. 2,258,000 plus interest income of 34,000. Yan na. All you need to do is to add. Tapos yung salaries expense up to the repairs and office supplies, just copy. Yun. Kasi kapag may na-prepare ka na, madali na lang. Copy-paste mo na lang yung mga accounts. So, get the sum. And the sum of the expenses. Okay. So, 2 million minus 1,245. Let's see. We have 1,037,000. Profit the same as the figure na nakita natin doon. Huwag na lang natin involve. Okay. After which, anong susunod? Let's have the capital beginning. Magkano? 2,655,000. So, meron bang additional investment? Wala. So, 0. Profit for the period, meron. Yes. Copy mo lang yun nandoon. Then, get the total. Less withdrawal of 600,000. I'm sure of it. 600 niya. Okay, so we have the new capital balance of 3,092,000. Okay, then the rest, copy na lang natin. So we have here cash up to office supplies. I think naka-arrange naman yan. Maayos. Get the total. Sabi nga it's sum up. So we have 606. Then we have land and building. Land of, how much is the land again? Land. 300, 159. So we have 300,000. As we have 1,590. I think I should have. Yeah. Let's accumulate. Lagay ko na lang siya dito. Maganda. Okay. Dapat kasi may total ng current. Okay, so lagay na lang natin. 1,590. Accumulated depreciation is 292,000. As equipment, sine-check ko na lang. 2,150, 735. Yan. Check na natin. So this one, deduct lang to para makuha niyo yung net book value. Then get the total. So mano-mano, okay lang. Okay. So that is the total. Assets. 2,719,000. Then we have the accounts payable. Check natin magkano yung mga accounts payable. So I think this is the one. 735. Yeah. So 213. Yes. Hindi ba makita?
Yung sa equipment po, 2,150 po, ang nilagay niyo po, 1,250 po.
Ay, sorry. Mamadali. Yeah. So, 3,619,000. Thank you. It's good to know na may nakikinig. Okay. So, we have alt equal sign. Then, the capital. Kung ano yung na-compute natin na capital dito. Ayan. 3,092,000. So, add lang natin yung 3,092,000 plus 527. Yeah. So, we have 3,619,000. So, thank you. Meron lang ako transposition error dito sa equipment. Okay. So, anong last? Last is the post-closing trial balance. Okay. So, all we need to do is to get the amounts. We have cash. Yung entries na kalimutan ko. Cited. Okay. For the closing entries, madali lang yun. Diba? Close the accounts, ibig sabihin, i-zero out mo lang. Okay? Lahat ng temporary accounts, i-zero out mo lang. So, if the consulting revenue is i-credit balance para mo siya i-close, debit. So, we have debit to consulting revenue, 2,258,000. Then, debit to interest income of 34,000. Yan. Credit to income summary. Ganun lang. Well, actually, yun lang din yung na-compute mo doon. Ilalagay lang natin sa proper accounts. And then, debit to income summary and credit all of the expenses. So, ang maganda dito, pag gumagawa ka ng FS, alam mo dapat ng pantay-pantay yung mga pagkaka-prepare mo para pwede kang mag-referencing. Okay, so we have 1,245,000. Then the balance is, kahit hindi ka na gumawa ng T-account, tingnan mo na lang. Debit dito, credit side is 2 million, debit side is 1,245. So, alam mo na mas malaki yung credit. So, yung closing mo, debit. So, debit to 2,282,000 minus 1,245. Okay, kung mapapansin mo, that's the profit actually. So, ibig sabihin, pakitake note, if at the end of your preparation of the closing entries, no, you have a credit balance. Okay? Credit balance kasi mas malaki yung credit kaysa sa debit. So, if you have a credit balance na income summary, you have a profit. Okay? May profit ka. Ulitin ko. Sulat na lang natin para hindi mas maganda. If you have a credit balance of income summary, meron kang you have profit. Tama? Siyempre, the other way around yung isa. Debit balance, meron kang loss. Okay. Tapos, one way to close is debit the income summary and then credit the capital. Yan lang. And for the withdrawals, 600,000. Okay? Yan lang yung tatandaan ninyo. For the theory, no? Ang pinakamahirap yung theory action kasi mag-i-imagine ka. Okay, after that, prepare the post-closing trial balance. So, madali na lang yan. Referencing na lang yung gagawin. Okay, and then we have land of 300,000. Building of 1,590. Accumulated depreciation 292. Equipment 2,150. 735. Accounts payable of 213. And the balance, okay, yung balance dito is the ending capital balance. Okay? Then, kunin mo lang yung sum. So we have 4,646,000. So more or less, you can prepare a basic financial statements within 1 hour actually. Okay? Sa atin lang medyo mabilis for 20 minutes kasi may prepared ng mga balances. May prepared ng balances. may pre-formatted na tayo. Okay, I hope you can also prepare something like this in the near future. Kasi magkakaroon kayo ng assignment. Okay? So any questions so far with the process? With the process. Again, hindi nyo to maintindihan if kayo mismo hindi nyo pa ginagawa. Okay? Kayo mismo ang gagawa. So, laging wala, walang questions. Laging wala. O sige. Okay, how about this one? Kindly answer within 5 minutes. Indicate whether the following would appear on the statement of financial profit or loss, changes in equity, or statement of financial position. 5 minutes. Inom lang ako tubig. Okay, time's up. Okay, supplies on hand at the end of the year. Excuse me. Makikita ba siya sa statement of profit or loss? Ayan. So this one is income statement sa mga hindi makakabisado. SOSE, and then this is the balance sheet. Saan makikita tong supplies? Makikita ba dito? Hindi. Sa statement of changes in equity, hindi. Sa balance sheet makikita? Yes. Okay? Sa balance sheet siya makikita. Next, total insurance expired during the year. Makikita ba siya sa income statement? Yes. Sa SOSE, hindi. About statement of financial position, hindi. So, doon lang siya sa letter B is nasa income statement lang. Next, accounts receivable at year end. Saan makikita yan? Sa balance sheet. Okay, sa balance sheet. Next, total revenues earned during the year. Okay, so makikita ba yan sa statement of profit or loss? Yes. How about the statement of changes in equity? Hindi. Balance sheet? Hindi. Check natin. Yes. Next, the book value of the entity's equipment. Makikita ba yan sa statement of profit or loss? Hindi. Statement of changes in equity? Hindi. Statement of financial position? Yes. Ano tinutukoy niya dyan? Remember yung binanggit ko kanina, yung equipment and machineries, di ba? Meron silang cost less accumulated depreciation. Yun yung book value na tinutukoy niya. Okay? Book value. Ay, sorry, dumampas pala yung mata ko. Book value. So, sa balance sheet lang siya makikita. Next, the withdrawals by the owner. Saan makikita yan? Ayan, ang maganda. Kasi makikita yan sa statement of changes in equity. No? Pero sa statement of financial position, hindi na. Okay. Ending kasi ang pinag-uusapan natin. Ending. Hindi unadjusted trial balance. Okay, next. The amount of depreciation taken on equipment during the year. Okay, so the amount of depreciation that is on the statement of profit or loss. Okay, next, the cost of supplies used during the year, statement of profit or loss. Equities at the beginning of the year, we have SOSE for that, SOSE. Okay, and then profit for the year, we have, ayan, yun yung makikita sa dalawa. We have statement of profit or loss, saka statement of changes in equity. Okay, makikita siya dalawa. So yun lang yung bago dito sa inyo. So yung profit, makikita yan sa income statement, saka statement of changes in equity. I hope you understand this part. Okay na? Questions again? Okay, so kung walang questions, you might want to go over to the statement of cash flow. I don't know if you have the same page, no? Statement of cash flow. Okay, so tingnan natin. Bakit eh? Yan. Ito pa pala natanggal. Okay, so dito tayo. Statement of cash flows. Actually, these activities are lifted from the book. Copy-paste lang yan from the book. Okay, so madali na lang yan. Yan. Okay, so tingnan natin yung statement of cash flow. Nabuksan nyo na yung libro ninyo. Okay. Yung libro yung papagamit ko kasi para pwede kayong mag-highlight tapos mag-underline. So let's start. We have the statement of cash flow. So the statement of cash flow provides information about the cash receipts and cash payments of the entity during a period. So it's a formal statement that classifies cash receipts or inflows, as we call it, and cash payments or outflows, palabas kasi ng entity, into operating, investing, and financing activities. So these are the three basic activities within an organization. I think nabanggit na din to during the start of the year or your accounting na meron tayong three major activities. So we have we have operating, investing, and financing activities. So, ang kailangan nyo dito talaga, no, sa lahat ng gagawin ninyo is you know the difference between operating, investing, and financing activities. Kasi pag hindi nyo alam yon, mali na lahat. I don't know if the book has, explain naman. So, yun yung isa-isay na. Okay, the difference between operating, investing, and financing. Okay, so this is statement, yung pang-apat na matututunan nyo for today, shows the net increase or decrease in cash during the period and the cash balance at the end of the period. It also helps to project the future net cash flows of the entity. Okay, so the discussions below gives an overview of the important concepts involved the preparation of statement of cash flow. Again, pag sinabing statement of cash flow, ang pag-aaralan natin, what happened to your cash from its beginning balance during the year and ano yung ending balance niya. Okay, ang bago nga lang dito is that you need to classify those cash transactions into three. No? Operating, investing, and financing activities. Okay. So when we say operating, so let's start with this one. Cash flow from operating activities. Operating activities generally involves providing services and producing and delivering goods. Makiguhitan niyo na po yun. So ibig sabihin niya daw po, pag sinabing cash flow from operating activities, lahat ng involved saan? Sa pagbibigay mo ng services, sa pag-produce, at pag-deliver mo ng goods. So dalawa kasi yung type of business natin, di ba? We have a service type business or a merchandising. So far, sa ngayon, pinag-aaralan natin. So kapag nasa service tayo, okay, hindi ko alam kung parehas kasi tayo ng page. That is on page 198. No? Nandun na kayo sa chapter 6, worksheet, financial statements, and completion of accounting cycle. I don't know kung parehas tayo ng page. 5-13 daw. Thank you. Kasi lumang libro yung gamit ko. Thank you. 5-13 sa mga hindi makasunod. I mean, hindi nyo makita sa libro. Okay? So, ibig sabihin po, basta related saan? Operations ng business. Ano bang operation ng business? It's either you provide service or you produce and deliver goods. Maliwanag po. Or you buy and sell. So, ibig sabihin, basta related sa pagbebenta at pag-produce ng product at pagbibigay ng services. Anong ginagawa mo? Day-to-day transactions. Doon sa business, So, cash flow from operating activities are generally the cash effects of the transactions and other events that enter to the determination of profit or loss. Another clue yan. Paano mo sasabing operating activities yan? Basta yung account na yan, gagamitin mo later for the determination of profit or loss. Income ba yan or magiging expenses? Naintindihan po? Income or expenses ba yan ng company? Kasi kung income or expenses yan ng company, that's part of the operating activities. Yun yung isang clue. Okay? Madaling-madali. And this cash flow can be presented using direct or indirect method. Pero, lapasan muna natin yan. Doon muna tayo sa definition. Next. Hindi ko alam kung parehas pa rin dito. Yeah. Cash flow from investing activities naman po. Huwag muna tayo pumunta doon sa direct, indirect. Dito muna. Cash flow from investing activities. These are the activities that includes making and collecting loans. Okay, nagpautang ka. Hindi mo naman business ang nagpautang. Talagang nagpautang ka lang. Okay? Or, ikaw yung umutang. Okay, umutang ka sa bangko. Okay? Acquiring and disposing of investment in debt or equity securities. Okay, ito yung pang-higher accounting nyo na. Hindi mo naman to business, pero may sarili kang business, parlor shop, or karinderya. So those are type of service type of company, di ba? Service yun. Nag-invest ka din saan? Sa shares of stocks. Pwede ba yun? Yes. Okay. Hindi mo siya ilalagay as part of your operating activities kasi ang main type ng business mo is service. So those activities po na hindi naman directly related sa business mo, pero kumikita ka, ilagay mo sa investing activities. O ano ba yung mga pwede mong pag-investan? Shares of stocks, pwede din sa forex or foreign exchanges, di ba? Mag-invest ka sa dollar, bili ka ng dollar, tapos benta mo kapag malaki na yung amount. Diba? So mga ganong instances. Or investment in debts, pwede ka bang mag-invest sa mga utang? Yes. Mga treasury bonds or treasury bills issued by the government, yan. Ibig sabihin, umutang yung government, tapos for a specified time, hindi mo siya magagamit, hindi mo siya makukolekta, kasi hintayin mo kung kailan magbabayad yung government, you have interest. Mga ganun. Or bonds, galing sa mga corporations. No? Pwede yun. Okay, so saan siya pupunta? Investing activities. And lastly, obtaining and selling of property and equipment and other productive assets. So, ibig sabihin, etong maganda. Ang clue kapag investing activities, lahat ng activities related sa non-current assets. Di ba? Mas madali. Lahat ng activities under non-current assets. Liwanag. Next. We have financing activities naman po. We have financing activities. These are activities includes obtaining of resources from owners and creditors. Okay, financing activities ang tawag doon. Or, ang shortcut natin doon, lahat ng papasok na cash sa atin from the owners or creditors pag umutang tayo. Actually, dito pala yung issuance of notes payable. Okay? Financing. Pangpuhunan. In short, lahat ng funding activities or pag naghahanap ka ng puhunan. Mas madali yun. Diba? Lahat ng puhunan. So, basahin natin yung mga simple na example. Okay. For operating activities, these are your cash inflows. Receipts from sale of goods and performance of service. Ibig sabihin yan yung binayad sa'yo. Diba? Natanggap mong cash from your customers. For the sale of goods, pag nagbenta ka or nag-perform ka ng service, kung ikaw ay CPA, ikaw ay lawyer, ikaw ay barbero, yan, yung mga binabayad. Ano yan? Cash inflow yan. Operating activities. Receipts from royalties, fees, commissions, and other revenues. Okay, royalties, yung halimbawa, libro, di ba? May ginawa kang libro, okay, tapos, or pwedeng, tawag dito, other royalties kasi yung mga copyrights din natin. Pinahiram mo or binenta mo, patents. Yan, pag nakatanggap ka ng mga ganun, that's cash inflow, operating activities pa rin. One good example will be siguro yung mga dito sa dagupan na healthy choice. I think, no? Pinromote ang healthy choice, no? Kasi 'di ba, healthy choice, pwedeng may magpa-franchise sa iyo, yung mga ganun. Meron kang sariling shop, tapos gusto nilang gayahin, ano gagawin? Pa-franchise mo, 'di ba? 'Yun, yung mga natatanggap nating royalties doon, fees, commissions, and other revenues, part yun ng cash inflow from operating activities. Okay? Same with interest yun. Dito mo siya ilalagay. Cash outflow will be lahat ng ginastos mo. Diba? Payments to suppliers of goods and services. Payments to employees for their salaries. Payments of taxes sa government. Payments of interest expense to our creditors. No? Or yung mga supplier natin na pinautang tayo, no, nababayaran natin for how many years? Pwedeng gano'n. Bumili ka ng inventory, hindi mo pa mabayaran. Interest. Dito yan, papasok. And then payments of other operating expenses. Other operating expenses like kuryente, tubig, cash outflow yun. Next. Cash flow from investing activities. Sample niya dito, we have cash inflow, receipts from the sale of property and equipment pag nagbenta ka, which is unlikely. No? Nga pala, pag nasa investing activities ka, bihirang makakita ka doon ng positive na amount. Okay, bakit? Kasi bihira ka naman magbenta ng mga non-current assets mo, di ba? Okay, so receipts from the sale of investment in debt or equity securities. Receipts from collections on notes receivable. Yeah. Cash outflow will be payments to acquire. Yan ang mas marami. Payments to acquire property and equipment. payments to acquire debt and other securities or other equity securities rather. Then payments to make loans to gather generally in form of notes receivable. So ano yung sabi kong shortcut sa inyo? Basta non-current assets. And then for the financing activities, we have receipts from the investment of by the owners and receipts from the issuance of notes payable. Yan, cash inflow yung mga yan. Outflow will be the payment. No? So payment of the notes payable, saka payments to owners in the form of withdrawal are good examples of financing activities. Okay? So try na natin kung medyo naintindihan natin yung mga binanggit natin. Let's have the following exercises. But before we go to the following exercises, kasi may mga sagot na rin to eh. May mga nakaprepare ng sagot dyan. Ito muna, sagutan niyo muna to. Mr. Tolentino. Yeah. Mr. Tolentino, ako na, para sikat. Invested 10,000 pesos in the name of the business. Yan yung pinaka-basic, di ba? Na transactions natin. Pinakauna. Question, anong klaseng activity yan? Anong klaseng activity yan? Is it operating activities, investing activity, or a financing activity? Bitin ko Mr. Tolentino invested 10,000 pesos in the name of the business. Invested 10,000 pesos in the name of the business. Yung iba wala pang sagot. Sige na, magsagot. How about the others? Mr. Tolentino invested 10,000 pesos in the name of the business. Wala na? Okay, wala na magsasagot. May mangiras. F pan to. About the others, huwag niyong i-PM, masasaol kayo. Pag nag-PM kayo, parang hindi kayo sure. Okay, so nahati na yung ating chat box into two. We have investing and financing. Wala mo magsasabing operating dyan. Okay, so nahati na yung chat box natin with investing and financing. Okay, ulitin ko Mr. Tolentino invested 10,000 pesos in the name of the business. Okay, nahati na talaga. May nagbago na ng sagot. Asar. Hindi pinanindigan yung sagot niya kanina. Okay, so nahati yung ating chat box into two. We have investing activities and financing activities. Okay. So reveal na natin yung sagot. Okay, thank you so much for answering the question. Okay, wag na wag kayong magpapalito. Sabi ko nga, 'di ba? Binigyan ko na kayo ng idea, shortcut. Okay, wag kayong magpapalito. This one, anong klaseng activity ito? This one is a financing activity. Who what? Sir, financing activity? Yes, it's a financing activity po. No? Wag po kayong magpapalito. Nangyari na tayo. Sige. Space. Yeah. It's a financing activity. Huwag kayong magpapalito, guys. Bakit? Tingnan niyo po. Saan ba siya nag-invest? Nag-invest po siya sa business. Okay? So, ano ba sabi natin kapag financing activity? These are the activities that includes fund sourcing, no? Or accumulating of funds or anything relating sa fund sourcing, no? So ito ay ano ba nangyari dito? Nag-invest siya sa pangalan ng business. Okay, ano bang ginamit na business? Ginamit ng business as a source of fund, yung investment galing sa may-ari. So ito yung medyo tricky lang, no? Tricky lang on the first part of your accounting journey, pero wag na kayong magpapalito in the to the future, no? In the future. Bakit? Kasi madali lang yan. Kaya-kaya. Kaya magpapalit. Okay? Although the term is invested po, no? Ang tanong dito, saan niya ba in-invest? In the name of the business. So, source of funds yan. Okay? Ganun lang po kadali. Okay, so let's start. Dito, cash received from the sale of building. Ito yung binanggit ko kanina, di ba? Okay, ano yung shortcut natin ulit? Ganito shortcut. Pag operating activities, tungkol saan yan? Pagmamanage mo ng day-to-day operations ng business. Pag ikaw ay nagbebenta ng goods or nagpa-perform ng service, lahat ng activities na related doon, operating activities yun. As long as it magpo-fall siya saan? Income or profit or loss or income statement. Okay? For the determination of profit or loss or sa income statement. Okay? In short, income, magiging part ba siya ng income or magiging part siya ng expenses? Yung transactions na yun. Okay? Cash transactions na yun. Gets? Pag investing activity, ano sabi ko? Lahat ng tungkol sa non-current assets. Pag financing, source of fund. Saan ba nanggagaling yung pondo ng company para or ng business? Nanggagaling yan sa owner, so owner investment, or galing sa creditor pag umutang. Okay? Kaya financing activity yan. So, bihira ang actually yung financing activity. Okay? So, let's start. So, cash received from the sale of building, yan yung binanggit ko kanina, bibihira, saan yan pupunta? Okay, very good. Natututo na kaya. Okay, thank you. Pupunta yan sa investing activity. Okay, next. Cash paid for salaries. Cash paid for salaries. Okay. Okay. Cash paid for salaries. Yan. Thank you. Matama na kayo. That's part of the operating activities. Thank you. Thank you sa mga humahabol din. Next, cash received. Interest. For interest on notes receivable. Cash received for interest on notes receivable. Ayan, nahati na naman tayo. We have operating and investing. Yan na. Nahati na tayo sa dalawa. Operating and investing. Okay, reveal na natin yung sagot. That is operating. Hala, sir. Bakit hindi siya investing? Okay. Ang reason kasi, no? Ang reason natin dito for the notes receivable, meron ba kayong nakita dyan pala dyan sa investing activity nyo na notes receivable? For the investing activity. Ayan. Payments to make loans or other generate in the form of notes receivable. Ayan. Ito yung mga binabanggit ko. Paki-take note po ito. Page 5-14 yata to. Hindi ko alam sa inyo. 13 or 14. Okay? Cash received for the interest. Ang pinutukoy natin dito is the interest. Okay? Interest yung pinag-uusapan natin. Okay. Ito medyo tricky lang. Kasi ang interest, no, as you go to higher accounting, no, ito yung rule. No, ito yung rule. Kung kaya mong ma-identify kung saan nanggaling yung interest, doon mo siya ilagay. Sir, di ba yung notes receivable is part, well, ang notes receivable, no, kailangan maliwanag. Is it a long-term or a short-term notes receivable? Paki-take note po itong mga sasabihin ko. Pag short-term notes receivable kasi yan, ibig sabihin, ginagamit yan for the operations. Operating activities yan. Pero kapag sinabi niyang long-term notes receivable, yan. Na hindi naman nanggaling yung notes receivable from the operation of business. Basta nagpautang lang siya, no? Hindi naman yung business ang magpapautang. Part yun ng investing activities. Okay, let's go back. Saan? Interest. Yung interest may rule dyan. Ganito, kung alam mo kung saan siya nanggaling na activities, doon mo siya ilalagay. So, halimbawa, yung interest ay nanggaling sa notes receivable that was used in operating activities, then yung interest receivable na yon na nakolekta mo or yung cash na nakolekta mo from it, operating activities. So, liwanag. Pero kung galing yun saan? Long-term, notes receivable or investing activities yun. Kaya lang, for simplicity purposes, sa mga tamad, anong ginagawa pag nakita mo tong interest? Nilalagay na lang nila ng operating activities. Ulitin ko po for simplicity purposes, ang ginagawa ng iba, operating activities na lang siya. Maliwanag po. Liwanag. Operating activity, yung interest. Marami yan. Actually, tatlo yan ang pag-uusapan natin. Pero itong unang lumabas, interest. Okay? Operating activities. Maliwanag po. Pero ang rule, general rule, if you can identify saan nang galing or related yan, doon mo siya ilagay. Okay? Next, cash paid to acquire truck. Okay, investing activity. Very good. I think familiar na kayo dyan. Cash loan out to a customer in the form of long-term note. Yes, investing. Binigyan na natin ng pagkakaiba. Okay, kasi hanapin nyo to. Hindi pwedeng maging vague yung information na ibibigay sa inyo. Trabaho natin na accountant na maging specific. So pag binigyan ka ng vague na transaction, vague, ibig sabihin hindi mo alam whether it is short-term or long-term, hanap ka ng information regarding that particular account. Huwag mong hahayaan na anong tawag dito? Huwag mong hahayaan na mamroblema ka for an account na hindi mo naman alam kung tama or hindi. Mali. Diba? Next, cash received for the services rendered. Okay, very good. Cash paid for interest. Okay, cash paid for interest. For simplicity purposes, operating activities yun. Okay, saan ka ba normally nagbabayad ng interest? Ayan, kanina interest receivable. Diba? Ngayon, ay interest revenue. Ngayon, interest expense. Saan ka ba normally nagkakaroon ng interest expense? Sa financing activity. Ulitin ko dito, sa interest revenue, di ba, this one is interest revenue. Dalawa yan. Pwedeng operating or investing activity. Pero for simplicity purposes, operating. Pero if you can identify that the interest is on a long term, no? Pag sinabi niyo dito, long-term notes receivable, investing activity yan. Pero since nasa lower accounting pa lang po kayo, basic accounting pa lang kayo, operating activities. Ulitin ko pag higher accounting ka na, dapat alam mo kung saan siya ilalagay. Pero for simplicity purposes, dahil sa katamaran nga, operating. Next, sa cash paid for interest, that's interest expense. Saan ka ba nagkakaroon ng interest expense? From financing activity. Bakit? Di ba pwedeng umutang ka ng pampuhunan mo? Tama? Pag umutang ka ng puhunan mo, libre? Hindi. May interest yan, di ba? So the interest paid for the financing activity is part of financing activity. Naintindihan po, as an interest expense. Maliwanag po. Pero again, for simplicity purposes ulit, anong ginagawa? Nilalagay siya sa operating activities. Maliwanag? Maliwanag po. Okay? Next. Cash paid for insurance. Sinabi na, insurance, kailangan yan sa operating activities. Cash received from debtor representing payments of principal. Debtor. Okay? Dahil nag-operating. Debtor. Cash receipts from a debtor. Nagpautang ka. Okay, another, paki-take note tong mga to. Okay? May nagkamali no? Nandiyan na investing na, nakita nyo Debtor ang ginamit, hindi customer. Okay? Nagpautang ka. Okay? In this case, nagpautang ka, investing activity. So another clue is debtor. So anong anong side ka nung transaction? Anong tawag sa'yo? Kung may debtor dito, anong tawag sa'yo? Hindi yan debtor, ah. Debtor. Debtor. Anong tawag sa'yo kung may debtor dito? Hello? Hello? Yes, thank you. Creditor. So another clue para sa inyo, ah. This one. Another clue. Next. Cash paid out to acquire building. Madali na lang yan. Investing activity. Okay? So ang bago lang talaga na nakakalito, interest. Pero para sa inyo, para hindi na kayo malito, interest yan. Pak, lagay mo na lang operating. Ganun lang. Para tapos na. Para hindi na kayo mahirapan. Operating activities. Okay? So another problem nyo lang is the notes receivable. Pag silent yung problem, assume operating activities yun. Okay? Kailangan sabihin niya na long term yun. Maliwanag. Tapos if you have seen na words na related sa debtor-creditor relationship, investing activities yun. Okay? So yun yung mga kailangan nyo lang tandaan. Okay, I think that will be all for today. Kasi tutuloy ko sana, no? Kaya lang meron pala kayong economics sa section C. Okay, yung section A and B, dating gawi tayo. Okay lang. Alam niyo na kung anong ibig sabihin ko doon. Dating gawi tayo. So yun lang, that's all for today. Any questions? Morning po din. Any questions? Wala? Okay. Sino kukuha ng attendance for this time? Ako na lang. Ano ba ngayon? 10-4. Okay, paki-open na lang yung cam. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Checky, wala kang cam. Next, Dolatre, wala din. Next. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next po na cam. Window rather. May naantok pa. Sige. 1, 2, 3. May nagpunas pa ng laway. Sige nga. Last po. Yan. Gaya nyo yung ngiti ni Paragas. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Yan. So, yun lang for today. Kita-kits next meeting po. Pag-aralan nyo in advance yung statement of cash flow.